across the floor. Footsteps echo, then no more. Cold hands reach where light won't stay, calling you to come and play. Dancing shadows spinning fast, fear and laughter they will clash. Beat of terror, pulse of night. Darkness sings but feels alive. Eyes that follow from the wall, silent voices start to call. Heartbeat racing with the drums. You can run, but still they come. Dancing shadows spinning fast, fear and laughter they will clash. Beat of terror, pulse of night. Darkness sings but feels alive. Eyes that follow from the wall, silent voices start to call. Heartbeat racing with the drums. You can run, but still they come.
Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Night Terrors and Other Tales.
Yes, and we're back from the darkness. Take me to the light. Take me back to the light. I mean, I'm going to say, if you noticed in the chat there, I put share out, but it was actually meant to be please. There's something weird going on with YouTube tonight. Something weird's going on because it wouldn't let me put please. It said restricted, then eventually it went.
That's strange.
It's the
when
spirits.
is please a swear word?
I don't know. I don't know anymore, you know, the strange world that we're in now. I hope everybody's having a fantastic Saturday night, guys. So, Sabrina, what have you been up to today and how's your day been going?
Oh, it's just been a blast.
Yeah.
I've been up to helping us get this thing set up because we had issues with YouTube earlier too. So
turned me into a shivering, quivering wreck for 2.5 hours. For 2.5 hours, I tried to add my YouTube, not realising that it was already added. I had changed the thumbnail and forgot about it. I was like, what's going on here? I was even arguing with the AI on my phone. I was like, it can't be, it's wrong. But in actual fact, it was me being an idiot.
Fun stuff.
Fun stuff. So, Sabrina, can you tell us about our amazing guest that we have coming on just shortly, guys? She's in the dungeon below getting shackled up as we speak. Right there. I couldn't help myself. I had to say that one. But anyway, Sabrina, do tell.
Yes. Tonight's guest is someone who spent more than 4 decades with one foot in this world and the other in the next. So I would like everybody to welcome Lyn Cinderey. She's a retired ghost walk guide, a spiritualist, and the author of 2 paranormal books.
Yes.
She's had conversations with spirits, including one very famous ghost, and she's helped thousands explore the unknown. But nothing could prepare her for the moment she saw her son's spirit 2 days before his funeral. Ooh. Confusing. But she's going to dive into some of these personal stories. And so please, everybody, welcome Lyn.
Hello.
As soon as you're muted.
Yep. Don't worry, we'll fix your microphone now for you so you're not like booming out.
Hello.
Hello.
Everyone. Hello, Sabrina. Hello, Quinn.
Hello again. Yeah, it's really, really nice for you to come on. And I would honestly say again, because I've actually met Lyn a couple of times, obviously tonight, and then before, I would like to say thank you so much for coming on tonight. So,
thank you for asking me.
Yeah. Lyn, there was something I did want to ask you, but I'll ask you that after I've asked this. How in God's name did you get into this type of thing? How did you get into this?
How did I start?
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Oh. Well, we're actually going right back to when I was a child. and I was brought up Church of England,
Yeah.
but I think I must have only been about 8 or 9 or something like that. And Mum had a big black piano in the living room, and I used to tinkle on there. I always wanted to play the piano, never could, but I used to tinkle on there if you like. But it was always somber type music. It was, I've been to church and it seemed very somber. So I sort of done that when I was at home. And then tears would roll down my cheeks.
Yeah.
And one would come in and say, "Oh, stop that row, Linda." Of course, everybody calls me Lyn now, but it was Linda. And I have no idea why. And then I was drawing graveyards, tombstones, churches, or just stick people.
Yeah.
So it really started then, but I have no idea why. And then it sort of left me, because when I was 11, my dad was hit over by a hit and run driver, and we had to be taken out of school to, be told all this. And that was horrible, because I don't normally like to say this, but I just want to say it because it's how it started as well. When we were kids, we used to play outside, and we always used to pick up dog ends on the street. And that's a dirty habit, I know. And then split them up and then make a proper cigarette. Well, my dad caught me, and he gave me a good idea, slap on the legs. I mean, today they wouldn't allow it, but he was firm, he was fair, but he was strict. And it was a good slap on the leg and go to bed. Well, I very stupidly said I wished he was dead.
No.
And I will never, ever, ever forget that, and never, ever, ever say it or want to hear anybody say it again, because the next day he was. No. So you can imagine, at 11 years old, I thought I had some power.
Yeah.
Some horrible power. And I thought I was evil, because he was literally hit over. He was going to work on his push bike, and a car hit a moped, and the moped hit Dad, and he died in hospital. And I just had to go to counselling for years and years and years to get over that guilt and to try and assess what was happening. And just a horrible thing to go through when I absolutely loved my dad. I was a daddy's girl. I went everywhere with him. He had a garden out the back, and he was always growing vegetables, and I always liked to pick the peas before they were ready and crunch on those. And he used to say, "They're not ready yet." And they're called petit four, aren't they? I enjoyed them. But then we moved. It was too much for Mum to live there, so we moved. And she was always in and out of hospital.
Yeah.
Because she was very ill with TB. My brother had chest problems as well, so he was in a special school. My sister and I were in children's homes. So we had an awful childhood that way. And then as we grew up, Mum suggested that I go and see some friends of hers at a spiritualist church. And they were very lovely people. And she said, "I think you would like them, and you need to have some sort of outlet." So I did, and they were very, very good friends. Sadly, they've gone now. But I learned a lot at the church, because I was like, I went on my own, and then I would tell people that I enjoyed it, even if I didn't get a message. And they said, "Oh, well, we'd love to go, but we don't want to go on our own." So I always took other people. Every week I took 1, 2, 3 or 4 people, and I felt like a blooming disciple. And when I was in one of the children's homes, one of the ladies gave me a Bible and signed it, so I still got that Bible. And so all that was sort of connected. And then, as I say, my friends passed away. But before the one passed away, the lady said, "Come and sit here and do some healing." So she sat on the chair, and I stood behind her. And she said, "See if you can pick up what's wrong with me, because we think you've got something." So I put my hand on her head, come down by her forehead, and went right, put my both hands on her eyes, and my eyes uncontrollably kept blinking and would not stop. And I was frightened. I said, "What's happening? What's happening?" She said, "That's one of my conditions. Just ask Spirit, you've acknowledged it now, and for them to take it away." And eventually they did. So it's all leading up to different levels of things that have happened to me. And then years later, obviously I got married, I had 2 boys, and all that was,
Yeah.
first and foremost. But then I joined what was the old MSN sites.
Yeah.
And that was like paranormal sites and stuff like that. So there was about 150 of us. We all used to talk and say about what's happened to us and what we'd seen, what we'd heard, all the rest of it. It went from there then to we met at Caesar's nightclub in London, in southern London, which is now demolished, sadly. And it was where I don't know whether you knew Fred Batt. He's a demonologist.
I've heard the name.
Yeah, he was associated with Most Haunted.
Yes.
We were fans then. Note then. We didn't know any better, but we went and they did a question and answer thing, and then after that they said, "Well, we're going now. All of you can stay. You can go around the building and do your own investigations. Go your own way." So that's what we did, and this is one of my stories that my very, very first full-blown apparition.
Yeah.
Do you want me to carry on?
Oh, please do.
Yeah.
Right, it was my friend Nikki and myself, and we decided to go up on the balcony area. All the lights were out, except for the little emergency lights. And I had this pretty old camcorder. Well, it's ancient now, but and I said to her, "I don't know what we're going to pick up. I can't really see anything because it's dark, but we might get some sound or something." So she said, "Okay." So she walked on ahead of me. Now, I don't know yards and feet and that, but it was a bit of a way. And I shouted to her, "You all right?" And she said, "Yeah, yes." I said, "Where is it apparition's been seen?" She said, "Up where you are, I think." So I said, "Okay." And then she went quiet or went off. I don't know what she did, because I carried on with the camcorder up to my face, literally looking. All of a sudden, I dropped the camcorder, but it was strapped around my waist, and I said something like, "Oh, sugar, you're fighting the what's it out of me." I'm not going to swear, but
Yeah.
she really, really made me jump, and she put her fingers to her lips and went, "Shh." I said, "What?" She said, "Shh, they're doing a séance down there." I went, "Oh, are they? Okay then." Thinking it was our teammates, I walked off. I said, "Sorry," and walked off. And got to my friend, never said a word. It wasn't until I got home the next day, 6 o'clock in the morning, caught the train to Gloucester, got home and slept for 15 hours.
Wow.
Which isn't unusual because I got fibromyalgia.
Yeah.
But I woke up into this really cold sweat and I thought, what the heck was that last night? What did I see? Why didn't anybody else see her? Why didn't I tell anybody? Why was it only me? Who was it? And it was lit up, and yet that was the only place lit up. You could see the whole of the doorway. You could see her full figure, and it was Ruth Ellis, the last woman in Britain to be hung.
Yeah.
Wow.
I've got her voice on tape, but obviously no visual because it was too dark and that. But I had it analysed, and they said it's definitely a spirit voice because they have higher octaves than us. And Bill Wyman said, from what you described, that is Ruth Ellis. And when the Ruth Ellis story came out on TV recently, at the last bit, they showed a picture of her, black and white. And that picture made me cry because that's exactly how I saw her.
Oh.
Her face was exactly that image that they showed. And I cried, and I felt really, really sorry for her because nowadays she wouldn't have been home, would she?
No.
You know, it was such
Yeah.
a sad story. So I'm never ever, and I got my hairs on my hands stood up already.
Yep.
I'm never ever going to forget that story, and that was my very first full blown apparition. But I'm just sad that nobody else saw it either. And I did say to my friend, "What was? Were you all right? I mean, what happened? Was anything odd?" He said the only odd thing was you went quiet. I
Yeah.
don't know what she means by that. I think you might know. And that was it. She said, other than that, we don't know. And the next apparition I saw was with 5 people, thankfully,
Oh,
Woodchester Mansion. And
yeah.
it was a lady in a long greyish type dress. She walked from out of the corner, across the hallway, and down through a wall. And all 5 of us saw her. She had her head down, looked very sad. And as I say, luckily all 5 of us saw her. So that was my first,
Wow.
real apparitions. Other than that, I've seen shadows, I've heard things, I've sensed things, I've spoke to all sorts of weird and wonderful things. And the light anomalies in my kitchen when my husband died. There's loads of them, and it was every single night for 2 months.
Wow.
He'd gone. He passed away. I think it was just after a month or 2 that he passed away, and this all happened. Everybody said it was insects, and I said, well, I don't know about insects being that size or that shape. I don't care what anybody thinks. I know. The only reason I had the webcam there was because I had it pointing to the back door where
Yeah.
a cat flap, and we always kept having a stray cat in. So I wanted to see if if the cat was coming in or not. So that's how I caught it all, and then it suddenly stopped.
Wow.
And my husband didn't even know how to turn a computer on.
Shows you how much they learn in the afterlife, right?
Yeah.
I think my son was with him because he was very
Yeah.
with internet and stuff.
That actually leads me to an interesting question. In the experiences that you've had, how soon after somebody has passed have you been able to hear them or pick them up?
I think it depends because I think, in all honesty, I think it depends on the strength of that person that they want to come back, whether they're what we say they're healing. I mean, it's like I said before. I was in my den, as I call it, outside, and it was a little place that I go out. I used to go out there, and
Yeah.
my husband had it built for me. And I looked up one day, and there was my son walking past the window in a grey jumper, fiddling with his phone. And I thought, that can't be. Went out the door, went around the corner, he'd gone. So I thought, well, my husband got a good jumper. Was it him? I thought, no, I know it wasn't him. He got beard and everything. Went in the living room, he was snoring his head off. It was definitely my son. 2 days before his funeral. He just was
Wow.
walking past as if nothing happened, as if he was still living. It was absolutely solid. And that was 2 days before his funeral.
It's interesting.
I mean, I've heard people say they've come back when they've passed
Yes.
an hour, and some people longer. So I think it's a matter of whether they want to come back, whether they're strong enough to come back. It could be umpteen amount of reasons. I don't know. I can only go by my own experience.
Yeah. And so with your son showing up like that 2 days before his funeral, do you think that was some sort of like a time loop?
It felt like it, yeah. It felt like it because he wasn't even looking at me. He was looking down his phone, like he always did, walked up and down the garden, fiddling with his phone. So to me, it felt like he didn't even know he'd gone.
Right.
That's how it felt. It didn't know he'd gone. It wasn't like for me,
Yeah.
looking at me, didn't wave or nothing like that. It was just walking along, and it was almost to me and I'm shivering now because
Yeah.
I work with angels, and when I say something and I'm wondering if it's right, I get the shivers, which they're telling me it's right.
Yeah.
So I do believe that he just was carrying on and didn't realise he'd gone.
Wow.
Yeah. It's interesting you say that because I know where I stay, I was telling you, as a mining community, there was actually someone passed away, an old gentleman. Somebody witnessed this, and they seen the old gentleman the day after his funeral. And
Yeah.
he walked every morning. He got up early to go to the pigeons because he did the pigeons, and he seen him walking right through the gate.
Yeah.
And he followed him. There was nobody there,
Yeah.
and it makes you wonder in the spiritual realm that he maybe didn't know then that he had passed. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
or it was like the stone tape theory where the surroundings has maybe absorbed that, and
Yeah.
it's maybe just something replaying back.
Yeah, it could be because I mean, there's no way I even thought of my son. I was doing something, never even thought of seeing him, or never, yeah,
Right.
never had him on my mind. Even though the funeral was 2 days to go,
Yeah,
so it was a shock to actually,
yeah, it would be. Yeah,
it was daylight.
see,
It
that's
wasn't even at night; it was daylight. So
Yeah.
it was a shock.
mhm.
But also at the same time, it helped me, and it was wonderful
Yeah.
because I knew that he lived on. Well, they do live on.
Yeah. That's incredible. And I just wanted to stop and take a break for 1 second
Yep.
just to share with you a couple of people that are saying hi in the chat. This one's for
Yay.
you, Lynn. This is Paul. Hi, Paul.
Hey,
Thank you for
Paul.
joining.
Yeah.
He says, Mom and I are watching on TV. We will be silent but enjoying watching.
Oh, bless you. Thank you, Paul. Thank you, Moira.
And then another person we're welcoming, and of course our usuals, Jenny, hi, and
Yes.
Sherry, but
Hi.
Iron City Paranormal is joining us too.
Yep.
Hello
Hey,
there.
Derek.
Right.
So I just thought I'd pop those folks up real quick.
Yeah, thank you. That's Jenny and Helga. Yeah, hello.
And if anybody has any questions, please don't be afraid to ask her.
Yeah.
I was actually going to ask you a question. Can you tell us about some of the seances that you've maybe attended, and what maybe happened at those seances? It's a thing that maybe people don't really talk about as seances.
Yeah. I used to do Ouija boards, and then I went off them
Yeah.
because I thought that you don't know who's going to come through, etc. And
Exactly.
at the end of my ghost walk, sometimes I did a paranormal or a seance thing, and there was these boys that were messing about on this Ouija board, and I said to them, "Just be careful," and I went off somewhere, and one of them come back, and it kept saying murder, murder, murder. So I went back and I said, shut it down. You're messing about. You're not being serious, and it's taking over. So shut it down. Didn't like it, but I said I don't care. Shut it down. So they did. They shut it down. Now another place we was doing one in a pub in Dursley, or I can't remember where it was, and we were talking, and I got these thoughts, if you like, that come into my head, and I have to say it.
Mhm.
And there's this about this young lady, and I said, "Your mum don't like them red shoes you bought." And she went, "Oh my god," things like that, and then there was other things as well, and then all of a sudden, I can't remember how it came about, but over the docs that we were using, it said twice the ghost lady.
Oh,
Twice.
Oh, interesting.
that's interesting.
And that freaked us all out as well. So I mean, as I say, there was also what we call mimickers. There was one on a Ouija board that was messaging saying it was my sister.
Yeah.
So I asked the questions twice to see if it's going to say the same thing. And I also said questions that I knew if she was genuine, she'd know it. So I asked a question about our first dog, what his name was, and it didn't know it, and it went on, and I thought, now, you aren't my sister. So I swore at it and told it to off. I said, because you're not my sister, so just go. So it went. So that's what put me off Ouija boards.
Yeah.
And another one was table tipping in a place called Craignos in Wales. And I was with a medium, and he had to go off to another room because somebody needed some help. And all the people in the room were doing this table tipping,
Yes.
and they were all asking us questions, bombarding this spirit with these questions on this table. And I was getting really agitated. And in the end, I shouted, and I said, "Stop it!" And they all looked at me. I said, "You're annoying the spirit. Too many questions all at once. You're annoying the spirit." And the medium come back then and said, she's right. you should ask one question at a time, and it was getting really agitated. And because the spirit was getting agitated, it got
Yes.
me agitated so that I could tell them that it was
Yeah.
it was agitating. So there's all those sort of things as well. And then I get names and dates when I do my crystal reading. You know, I woke up one morning as well. I had shaman written. I could see it in capital letters across on my forehead. And then not long after, I met one of my mediums I use, and he is a shaman, and he's absolutely fantastic. He knows lots of things, animal spirits, all the rest of it. And it was almost like I was meant to meet him. And he's a lovely person. So there's endless things that have happened to me. But I think when I was younger, I thought it was always an imaginary interest, imaginary, not friends, too much imagination. But I now realise I was being, for want of a better word, groomed into all this, and got over several different levels of why I've become like I have. And I do psychic suppers, I do clairvoyant nights.
Yes.
And I do it because I enjoy helping people as well. And they love to come out and see what they can get or receive messages from mediums or whatever, you know. So it's all helping each other. When I used to do the ghost walks, I mean, I've took thousands in the 14 years, and my husband used to drop me off. We used to wait outside the tourist information, see who turned up, and he said to me one night, he said, "I don't know why they pay you to talk a load of rubbish," he said, "because that's what you do." Rubbish. And I just turned around and said, "Well, so do you, but I get paid for mine." Never answered that one back.
Well, I'd say that's a good point.
Loads of people. We went to literally underground in some areas. A lot of places in Westgate Street, Gloucester, that's got tunnels or medieval underground, and that was amazing. That was as well. Because do you mind me telling you this one? Tell me to shut up.
Yeah, anything you.
I'll go on, like.
Yeah.
I'm saying it as I see it, so it might sound a bit younger, but I've got a friend who does hairdressing, and they've got this place in bottom of Westgate Street, and they've got a trap door in their shop that goes underneath, and underneath is a medieval building. It's literally medieval, not very big, but it's a medieval wall down there. And I sat down on the bottom stairs, and there was like a patch of concrete, and I put my foot on it, and I just sat there and I said, "Have you had children down here, Pam?" And she said, "Yeah, we've heard lots of noises," because she's spiritualist as well. "We've heard lots of noises and stuff." And we put 3 dictaphones in there in different areas of that room. And when we went home, I listened to mine, because I didn't listen to it on the night. And I listened to it, and I asked the others to listen to theirs, and we all got the same voice. Now, I'm not going to swear, but I'm going to just say, when I put my foot on the floor, it said, "Get off my effing back."
Wow.
Yeah.
And I thought, hang on, that's a modern word, but I found out it isn't. Effing is not a modern word. And then I said to Pam about it. She said, "Well, I wouldn't be surprised if there wasn't somebody under there, because the notorious Fred West used to work there.
Right.
And he worked in a lot of places in Gloucester. So, who knows?
Yeah.
But all 3 different dictaphones picked that same sound up.
Wow.
That's an interesting question that's actually in the chat. I see you started it there.
So Sherry Ann is asking, do you think you can call on a loved one to come talk to you after they pass? My sister's been gone a year, and I just want to hear her. She did seem to come to me in my dream on the morning of the 1-year anniversary of her passing, but I question, was it her or just me dreaming of her?
Hello, Sherry Ann. I believe in dreams, and I do believe that when they come to us in our dream state that is on the same level as them. It's like we're just nodding off, and we've got the thoughts and everything out from the day, and we're just dropping off. And sometimes you jump, and that's going into another dream level, and then we're on their level. And if you see or speak to your sister or anybody, loved ones, then I do believe they are there and they are visiting you. And it's not just a dream, they really are. But in your waking life, there's no harm at all in talking to her. I would say talk to her picture, ask her questions. You might not hear straight away, or you might not hear at all, but I bet you she will come in your dream and answer you. That's the only thing I can say, and I do believe in that. And as I say, it is visitations, and they come because they don't want to frighten you. And you know, some people can see people in the day, but me personally, I think the communications are more when you're dreaming.
It's interesting you say that. It's interesting you say it because I've had a lot of fond dreams of my mum.
Yeah.
And actually, Sabrina's helped me a few times with this. I mean, I find that the more realistic the dream, the more you can remember that dream, the more that actually happened.
Yeah.
If you wake up and then you forget and then you can't remember it, that was just a dream.
Cherry, you're welcome. If you wake up and you know the dream, write it down straight away.
Yes.
Don't get dressed, don't go toilet, nothing. Write it down straight away. Or if you've got a dictaphone, talking to it straight away. Then, because I used to do dream analysis as well. And when I went to counselling, I went for over 3 years. I told you about my dad. And she was a dream analyst as well as a counsellor. And it was almost like I dreamt to order. Because I dreamt on the night that before I saw her. And then we worked out the session with the dream. And it helped me enormously. And she said at the end of it, she said, "You're as good as me. You can sit in that chair." I said, "No, I can't." She said, "You can." She said, "What you do is you take the dream and you take the main parts out of it. So like you dreamt about you had a big car, and then it was you were in a nice house, and there was fields around it, and like put the big things into the smaller picture, then add the other details. Like the car was a certain colour, the house was big or small. In the fields there were sheep and cows. Add the rest, the small bits with it, and you can almost work your own dream out. And there's loads of books out there that you can read, and also counsellors and people that do dream analysis. But you can actually do it yourself. It does take a while. I mean, when I was working, I bought a dream dictionary, and I used to read it in my dinner break. And of course, some of my colleagues found out, and where'd this dream go? Where'd this dream go? Oh no! I wanted an hour's peace. I never ever got it, and then they called me Dream Witch. That was one of my handles, Dream Witch. I can never get any peace. So there's, as you can imagine, what I've spoken about is endless. What I've been doing,
Yeah.
and then it's all rolled into one, and to where I am now.
Yes.
You know, it's been different levels, different layers. I mean, it's like when I can help people. I had cancer of the womb, and I had a hysterectomy. I was very, very lucky. Didn't have any whatever. And the specialist said to me, "Well, you don't have any more children. You got 2. You don't." And I said, "No, I'm fine. I'm fine." Anyway, he said, "Well, luckily it's contained just to the womb. So we do a hysterectomy, and you'll be fine." And I thought, well, how do I act? What do I do? I didn't know what to say.
Yeah.
And then I heard in my head, and I don't care if anybody thinks I'm crazy or not, because I know what I heard. God will be with you.
Yes.
As clear as anything. And I've never worried to this day. Never worried to this day. And I've had my gallbladder out in America. I had gallstones. I didn't worry about that. You know, I've had all sorts of things.
I'm just chuckling about this because it's like a reflection of some of the experiences I've had as well.
Yeah.
Like I've had a hysterectomy for the same reason. I also had gallbladder surgery for the same reason.
Oh, we got things in common then.
Yeah.
Well, not so much because they're not there now.
Right?
No, I was in America and I went to, I had to go to hospital there, and luckily I had a really good insurance because being in America, I thought, sorry, I know you're there. I think it was so many $1,000 or something. Anyway, I think I went in on the Thursday. I had the operation on the Friday. I was in church on the Saturday. That's how quick I recovered.
Yeah.
So there again, as I said, amazing, absolutely amazing. What we got now? Oh, Sherry.
Very nice.
Sherry says, when I feel her during waking hours, does that mean she is visiting me? Do they come and visit with us when we are awake?
Absolutely, yes, absolutely. When you feel that way, Sherry, talk to her. Say hello. I feel you. I know you're there. Is there something you could do? Can you just move something? Can you tap me? Anything that's just light so you don't frighten me. And I would love to hear from you. If she had her picture out, could she move her picture? Any sort of. I'll tell you what as well. Sometimes when you think of your loved ones, and you're in the car and a record comes on that they used to like and you used to like, that's another sign that they are around you. So there's all sorts of different signs that she could let you know that she is there. But yes, absolutely. If you feel that she's there, I would say yes, absolutely. She's there with you. And it's only, what, was it a year, she said? I think in the last one, she said it was only a year.
I think, yeah,
And
it was
also
about a year.
sometimes they come back on their anniversary when they passed.
Yeah.
So there's lots of different things that, but it's very comforting. It is.
It's actually weird you say that, because when my mum's birthday, the night of my mum's birthday, I had a visitation for her.
Yeah, yeah,
And when her death anniversary is usually the 14th of every month, so it's nearly a year and 9 months now.
yeah.
And then the 14th of this month, I had that. Mind I tell you about that? Sabrina? I had that very vivid dream of my mum, and
Yeah.
it was so vivid, and I can still remember it. I did write it all down. I wrote every bit of it down,
Yeah.
and I still remember it. It's actually quite funny because God rest his soul, my grandmother's cousin, he's passed away now, he'd probably be about 110 if he was still alive, actually had an experience like that. His mother had passed like maybe 20 years to this event, and
Mm.
it was hug me now. You know what the Scottish are like, we like to have a good time.
Oh, yeah.
And his mother always told him not to drink too much, right?
Deaf ears, I bet that
It,
one.
it was interesting because he didn't believe in the supernatural. Anyway, they were all jigging away, having a party, they were all having the thing, and he thought, right, I'm going up the stairs, because the toilet was up the stairs, and there's a big mirror at the top of the stairs, and he got halfway up, and there was his mum standing looking at the mirror and says, I told you not to drink too much. And he came running back down, and he actually told everybody. He says, my mum. And you got to remember, this guy was like in his 70s, 75.
Oh. Getting back to Sherry. Is it Sherry? Say it? Sherry. She said that made her feel happy. If you feel happy, my darling, then I'm happy for you. That is exactly what I do. I try to make people happy, let me talk to you, and if your heart is happy, then love you. I'm happy for you.
What advice can you give to people that are wanting to talk to their dead relatives? But obviously, see Ouija boards. I wouldn't touch one, even though I can see spirits and stuff like that.
No.
I know other psychics that use the table tipping and things like that. But
Yeah.
me personally, I only really talk to spirits when I'm doing like Sabrina and spirits that I know. For the people that's sitting watching this or listening to this podcast in Apple Music or wherever it is, what advice can you give them if they want to talk to their loved ones without going down the road of a Ouija board, because a spirit board, because it's a bad idea?
Just have some quiet time.
Yeah.
Nobody around, no noise or anything, and think of them, and then talk to them, and just say, "Oh, I'm just imagining I'm talking to my son now. So, I really miss you, and I love you. I always did. And is there any way possible that you could let me know that you can hear me or see me, and let me know that you're okay, and just be just say from the heart, just be honest, be genuine, and just wait then to see what reactions you get. I mean, you've got to know what to look for sometimes, though, because if it's somebody that's never done that, they wouldn't know what to look for. But if you've been in the paranormal stuff like I have for years, you do look out for stuff. And if they talk to somebody and they get that feeling, like Sherry said, she felt her sister around her, then that was because she was probably talking to her and she was letting her know she was around her. So you just got to be yourself, and just ask as if they were there, alive, but obviously not, and just try and communicate that way. Even if they want to, you could write something down. I did automatic writing once. One of my friend's husband died, and he died in hospital, and we were with him. And I was absolutely gutted for her because they were so in love. They were soulmates. I was gutted for her. And I went to her house before the funeral, and we were talking, and then I slept in the same bed with her to comfort her, and then all of a sudden there was a white light coming in the room, and I said, "Well, it can't be the cars. There's a road outside, but it was too high up, and it was up in the ceiling." And she said, "Oh, I think that's Mr. Lewis coming in, or whatever." And also, when I come back home after the funeral, I couldn't sleep. I come downstairs about 3 o'clock in the morning, and I must have been over an hour writing something down about him. And I was just writing and writing and writing and writing. And I read it through the next day, and it didn't really make a lot of sense to me. But I told her, and she said that is his handwriting,
Oh, wow.
and his misspelling, and you've seen something in there only him and her knew about. So that was my first automatic writing. And that was because I felt, when you feel really empathy for somebody,
Yeah.
the empathy takes over because you want to help them and you feel helpless. You don't know how to help them. So the strength from that was what came through with what I experienced. So, I mean, it's just unbelievable what you could believe in and what you could see. And when we went to Woodchester, we smelt all different things. You could. I mean, what was it? I was out in somebody's car the other night, and I smelt pencils. I said, "Where the hell are we? We're in a car. How can I smell pencils?"
Yeah.
When we got to the venue, the man in the car was a medium, and he brought out some sketches. What he'd done, automatic sketches in pencil. And I didn't know because it was in an envelope, and he didn't even show it us till we got there. So all sorts of things. Sometimes they're always nice, but it's. I don't know whether I've gone off the beaten track or not now, because I'm trying to remember everything. I'm trying to give you as much info as I can, and I go off the beaten track. As I said, you'll have to put me on mute.
No.
Put your hand up if you want to speak.
Actually, what you're talking about now leads me to a really good question that I think is going to also give you an opportunity to help some more people. Recently, I've been working with a lot of clients that have experienced that heavy loss. They've lost their husband, who they thought was their soulmate, and then they've lost their son. So people who have experienced this extreme loss, what kind of advice would you give them just to help to comfort them in that first initial grieving period that they have?
Yeah, because with grieving, you go through several different emotions, don't you? You go through anger, you go through sadness, you go through, you want to be with them. I felt that I want to be with them. I've got so many over there. I very often have said I want to be with them. But it's hard to say because it's down to the individual. But if it was me, I mean, yeah, I did a lot of crying. And then I did a lot of talking. Um, it's hard to say really because it's as I say, it's down to the individual. But if you can do what I said earlier, that you could talk to them, say how much you miss them, have a look at their photos, hold something of theirs, just talk out loud, pray. ask the angels. If you don't want to pray, I believe in the angel. And if you ask the angels to help, they will help you. But you have to ask. They want
Yes.
to help you otherwise. You have to ask. And I have no idea how many times I've done that, and they've always come up every single time.
Yeah.
And asked them to be close, to give me strength, to give me positivity, so that I can help other people as well as help myself. And just ask them, and they will always deliver. And that's the only way I can describe what I've been through, is literally asking. I mean, it's 2 years since my husband gone, 5 years
Yeah.
since my son, and my sister's gone, my brother and my brother-in-law, my mum, my dad, and years apart, all of them. But I still think of them. But
Yes.
recently, they've been closer to me,
Yeah.
because they know I'm down. They know I don't like Christmas. And the reason I don't like Christmas is because my brother passed away on December the 1st.
Oh.
And we had his card, his present, everything, And I just can't abide Christmas. And even now, because I'm on my own, I'm not. I'm a bad humbug in a way, but I don't mind. I like seeing other people happy,
Yeah.
and I envy big families when they all get together and have a meal together and all the rest of it. But when you're on your own, I just feel like the pressures of the TV and the adverts and everything, they get to you, because you're on your own, and you can't experience what they're advertising. So I try to divert away from that by just talking to my family, and as I say, ask the angels to help and to come in and give me strength to be able to carry on with my life and move forward.
Yeah. It is a hard time, especially at Christmas. I kind of is with my mum that passed, because Christmas, we always had like Christmas dinner and everybody came to visit, and it's difficult. I mean, my mum passed away in the February, and it wasn't that far after Christmas, and you do miss them, but I'm going to say right now, it's easier for me because I can see spirits and things like that, and because of the kind of, obviously, the people that I know, especially Sabrina,
Yeah,
and I get messages from my mum, I get messages from my grandmother, I get messages for their loved ones,
yeah,
and I know people out there. I wish you could experience this, and you will experience this. You will get to experience, but it's true what Lynn says. You've got to ask. See the angels; they will
yeah.
not help you unless you ask them,
No,
because they're not allowed to interfere unless you ask them.
no, that's right. It's yeah, yeah. Thank you, Jenny. It's it's just one thing that I never thought of, and somebody said to me once, we were in the den talking, and we were talking about the events we were going to do. She's a medium,
Yeah.
and she talked about the angels and that. I never really thought about angels. She said, "Oh yeah," she said, "there's angels all around you." Blah 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 blah. Went into it, and I said, "Well, how do you contact them? And what do you do?" And she said, "Just ask them to come into your life." I said,
Yeah.
"That's it." She said, "Yeah." So I sat there and I said, "Angels, would you please come into my life and help me to be strong, help me to be positive?" And I shivered, and then I cried. And she
Yeah.
said, "They're in." Just
That's
like
it.
that. She said, "They're in."
Hmm.
And I've been ever since. So it is an amazing feeling. It's a lovely feeling. I mean, I'm not frightened of going. I'm just frightened of how I'm going to go.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to meeting everybody up in the big house. We're going to have a big party and all the rest of it, But so I'm not frightened of that. Sorry, it's my dog. Yeah, so I'm not worried about all that, but I'll be looking forward to that in a way, but not till I'm ready, not till it's my time. And as I say, I think we all are frightened of dying in some way or other, of how we're going to go, isn't it? A lot of us say, "Can we go in our sleep?" But it's not always that possible, is it? So what will be will be.
Yeah, I agree. And I love that you're talking about angels and that was brought up to you too, because I work with angels very, very closely.
Yeah.
My main guide is Archangel Michael.
Oh yeah.
And so when you were talking about the angels, what is funny about that is they were surrounding me and I don't know if you guys could see it, but my hair
Yeah,
was like
I
moving
could.
to the sides a little bit. That was them coming in.
It, it's interesting you said that, Sabrina, because I did notice your hair moving, but then I thought maybe it's the fan above you. But then I noticed something, and I wasn't going to say anything until after the show. Have you got a door, Lynn? Have you got a door open next to you?
Me?
Yes. Is
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
it open? Is the door open?
Yes.
Because I'm sure I seen somebody walking past there, and it was weird. It was like you could see how the wallets kind of lit. I don't know if anybody else noticed that. You can just see the shadow going past as if somebody's
Ah,
walked past, and it's when you were talking
yes.
about the angels.
You just reminded me. I was what was it? Let me think. Yeah, I took the webcam from downstairs
Mm-hmm.
up in the bedroom.
Yep.
And the reason I brought it upstairs was because I wanted to hear what I said in my sleep. What it would be like, you know. And I thought, oh, I don't know, this is daft. Anyway, when it was pointing towards the door, and one particular, I'm not sure whether it was day or night time, but there was a shadow on my one door, and it wasn't me. There was nobody else in the room, and the shadow come across the landing right by that door, and you could see the outline of the shadow, literally. And it was still on my webcam, and I showed my friend, and she went, "Wow," she said. And I said, "Well, I don't know who it is, but somebody walked across there." And I always get a feeling when I get up at night as well, somebody's there. And then even last night, I woke up and I was I was going to say something, and then I almost turned around to talk to Robbie, and say, "What do you reckon?" And I thought, "Oh, sorry, I'm here." And I've done that in the downstairs as well. I felt they're literally around me at the moment. I
Yeah,
know
they are.
they're
They
all
are there.
around me. Yeah, and I can feel it. Whoa,
Yeah.
yeah. But it's a nice feeling, you know, that I'm not on my own.
Yeah.
And yeah, and I've got my Bella to look after me as well for the physical ones. Or the foxes outside that I feed every night. Yeah.
Oh, I'm just waiting for Sabrina.
Oh, you
I
were
don't-
waiting for me to ask another question?
yes, yes. Off you go.
Okay. So, have you ever been followed home from a haunted location, and did you know how?
Yes, I had a what they call it attachment, and I wasn't aware of it at the time, but my friends said, a couple of friends said, "What's the matter with you, Lynn? You're not yourself. It's not you. You're agitated. You're angry. It's not you." I said, "Oh, isn't it?" So then they said, "We reckon you've got an attachment." So I went to see a lady that does attachments, and we'd gone to a little village, and we'd gone to one of the churches there, and it was an old church, and I picked up an old cross and we paid. It was a wooden one that they made, and we put something in there in the box, and then we come away, and it was from that place, and the lady that said, "You have got an attachment, and he's hiding." Now, I was freaked out with it. He's hiding behind your eye. I went, "What?" He's hiding behind your eye. She told me his name. She'd not been with me to that place. She knew nothing about that place. She told me his name. We looked it up, and he lived there years ago.
Wow.
And he was involved in that church there as well. So she got rid of him. And I thought, I knew you get attachments, but you feel like they're in your body, not your blooming eye, you know. And get out. So she got rid of him. So yes, I have had attachment. Other than that, I haven't. There was another, not attachment as such, but when we went to Woodchester Mansion, there was people upstairs in the bathroom, and they were doing calling out and that, and I was in what they call the church part or the mortuary part. And they come running down and they said, "Lynn, you've got to come upstairs." I said, "What do you mean? Why? What's happened?" They said, "You've been asked for." I said, "What do you mean I've been asked for?" "There's somebody that wants you." and they've said go and get Lyn. So I went up and I said, well, what do you want me to do? They said, well, we think she wants you to cross her over. I said, well, I don't know how to do that. Who's got the right to do that? And where do they go? You know, I'm not a professional. I'm not trained in any of that. But then again, who is? And they said, well, she kept asking for you. So I said, well, all I can do is say a little prayer from the heart, ask the angels and her spirit guides or her family to come down and to take her back to the light. I did that, and we all just listened and I prayed and literally from the heart. And then when I'd finished, the atmosphere changed. She'd gone, and we all cried.
Oh.
Yeah. And there was another lady that used to do that quite regular, and she said to me she couldn't even cross her over when she tried. So I don't know why I did. It was just a once.
No, I do, but I do believe if you actually truly believe, you can help cross them. It's like anybody could really help cross a spirit.
Yeah.
If you truly believe in the light and you truly believe in good, and you say that prayer,
Yeah.
and you truly believe in that prayer,
Yeah.
that spirit will leave. I do believe that.
Yeah, I do. It's the intentions that you give out, isn't it?
Yes.
It's
Yeah.
also the love, the genuine, the positivity. If it's genuine and it's from the heart,
Yes.
I can't see why it can't help anybody. But they got to let you.
Yes.
You can't preach to them. You can't tell them. You've got to let them. You can advise them, and you can help in that way. And as I say, angels are most important.
Yes.
And I think we need a lot more of that sort of thing today. I mean, every time you turn the news on, there's somebody
No,
stabbed
I
or
know.
shot or whatever. It's
I know.
horrendous. And the
I know.
worst thing that ever I cannot stand and hurts me so much is the cruelty to animals.
Yes.
It really hurts me. I used to have a magazine about world animals and whatever, and in the end, I couldn't look at it. I couldn't read it, and I just cried. I cried. I cried, and for weeks, I cried in bed. And my husband was alive then. He said, "You can't do something about some things. So just don't look at it. Don't what." I said, "But if I ignored it, then everybody ignored it. Nothing would be happening, would it?" He said, "What can you do then? What can you do? Do you want to go over it?" I couldn't. You know. So,
Yeah.
but it nearly gave me a nerve breakdown. That's how
And
much it affected me.
yeah, it's a terrible thing, animate cruel. I'm actually got to see if I can get like a pet psychic to come on the show, you know. So that'll be a good thing
Oh
for
yeah.
like people that have lost dogs and people that have lost cats and budgies and God
Yeah.
knows what.
Oh,
But
well, sorry.
the,
Another one. We were in bed and we lost two dogs. One had a tumour, and the other one died of broken heart. They were brother and sister.
oh,
We were in bed one night and we were this patter up the stairs, and we both looked at each other and said, "That sounds like Bonnie and Ben coming up to bed." And my husband said, "Yeah, it did, didn't it?" So yeah, we were them coming up. That was weird. Sorry.
yeah. I,
I
wa-
love that.
Well, yeah, we're starting to run slowly out of time, but I was going to ask you, can you tell us about the events that you throw? Because you do throw big events for mediumship. Can you tell us a wee bit about that?
Yeah, with the psychic suppers,
Yes.
we go to a venue or a pub or something. They provide the food. I provide the mediums. We all have our food, and then the mediums sit at the tables with the customers
Yes.
after. But we don't sit with them because we don't want to hear what they're saying. Because
Yeah.
we learned from past events where they said something, they said, "Yeah, but you sat with us and you heard us say that." So we don't sit with them now. So then they stay at each table for about 20 minutes before they move on to the next one. And then everybody gets a reading. A bit like speed dating, but spiritual.
Spiritual speed dating.
Yeah. And then the clairvoyant night is where I get mediums stand up at platform. You've got audience
Yes.
seats, and then they just give out message to the audiences. We do a lot of charity work as well for that sort of thing, which is amazing. I love that. Yeah, and they just give out all these messages. So that's the sort of things that we do. And as I say, I do crystal readings from home because I don't drive and I'm disabled. So
Yeah.
you know, it's best if they come to me. And I never time my readings, and I only charge £20.
That's
I don't go over like some people do.
Yeah.
£20, and I get an angel card reading as well. And two ladies, not that long ago, stayed for 3 hours.
Wow.
I get and I get an angel card reading, and we had a cup of coffee, and they just wanted a natter, so I just did. And
Yeah.
because they wanted a natter, and I don't. I say to them, don't expect me to get Uncle Sam through or whatever. I give you what they think you need.
Yeah.
If you want to go to somebody that will say that they can get something through, that's up to you. I don't work like that. I just say things. I look at the crystals. I see things, images. I get names. I get dates, times, all sorts of things, and all sorts of weird and wonderful images. And I just say what I see. And as long as I can do that, then that's the longest the session will be. I don't time it. And then we do the angel card reading, which the angels help me to do. Because when I did the crystal readings, I had this thought in my head, why don't you do the angel card reading afterwards and see if that correlates with what you said of the crystal? So I was arguing with them and said, well, yeah, good idea, I'll try it.
I
And
argue with them today.
it's worked perfect. It has worked perfect. And do you know where I get my best ideas? On the loo.
Of course.
I argue with. I use the pendulum quite a lot. Hence, they're all lying about all over the place along with all my crystals. I'm terrible. Honestly, the spirits must hate me sometimes because I'll be like, right. I close the door now, and then I'll put I'm not kidding you. Like 10 seconds later, I'll say, oh wait, no, I've got one more question I want to ask you, and they'll be halfway back to
Yeah.
You mess them about.
Aye, I keep them fat.
Oh, brilliant.
Oh.
Oh, well. Well, hopefully I haven't bored everybody. They've all gone, have they? I don't know.
No, they're still here.
Oh, everybody's still here.
You get them watching back, don't you?
Yes,
Yeah.
because it will go out in the podcast, but it will also be on the YouTube site, which we nearly had I lost all of the hair. That's why I went completely bald. Was trying to add YouTube to my streaming service.
Yeah, we're streaming through 4 different locations, and then outside of those 4 locations, we also have a voice-only podcast that goes out to Apple, Spotify, and all of the major names.
I think it's like 25 different locations. So you've got the Apple sites, but you've also got the Android sites.
So how long have you been doing this?
What's that?
How long have you been doing this?
Oh,
3 months now?
I've been
For
doing
this specific podcast?
Yeah, this specific podcast is about 3 months, but
No,
before
no,
that,
I thought you'd been doing it for years.
Well, we both have been doing podcasting for years. Just this specific podcast, we just started a few months ago. But
yes.
Oh, okay, there. Right.
Yes, this is a special podcast to get real stories from real people and the paranormal, because that's what we try and keep it real. Because there's a lot of like podcasts out there that kind of like they say they're doing it real, but then they kind of stray off into the kind of like where they just talk about themselves and what they do and stuff like that. Whereas we want to try and keep it real and try and help people and get the information and help them with their careers.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I hoped I've helped a few tonight, so if I have, my work is done.
You definitely have.
You've done a fantastic job, and I would just like to say thank you so much for coming on. Was that Jenny? I thought I enjoyed this, Lyn.
I thoroughly enjoyed this, Lyn. I hope to see you again.
You take care, darling.
So, thank you, everybody, for joining us tonight, and we hope you all have a fabulous weekend.
Yes.
Sending lots of love from all of us. And anybody else like to say anything else?
I would just like to say thank you, Lyn, for coming on. Everybody, we will see you when we are live again. Lyn, do you want to give yourself a plug? You know, advertise here. Off you go.
Okay. Oh, thank you. It's lovely meeting you, Sabrina and Chris. Both of you take care and keep up the good work. Okay.
Thank you.
See ya, and we'll talk to you behind the scenes. But catch you later, everybody. Have a safe night. See ya. Bye.
Whispers crawl across the floor, Footsteps echo, then no more. Cold
Good night,
hands
everyone.
reach where light won't stay, calling you to come and play. Dancing shadows spinning fast, fear and laughter they will clash. Beat of terror, pulse of night, darkness sings but feels alive.